We've got, is it Andrew?
Yeah.
In Kansas. How you doing?
Thanks for waiting.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's my first time calling. I'd like to discuss my personal quest. I think a quest that all atheists share in some sorts. It differs for every person, but I think in a general sense it's the same. So, do you mind if I kind of talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Try and keep it a little brief.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the first step to this quest I want to call is you've mentioned it before. It's other people come at it different ways. For you, it was I think 1 Peter 3:15. Is that what it's always be ready to defend your faith? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and for me personally, it was I never really bought into religion, but I chose to I took a special interest in philosophy, and it kind of led me to religion. And eventually, if you're a rational person, and, you look at the evidence, and you don't try to fool yourself, to false claims. You come at the realization that the belief in a God is trivial. It's not supported by evidence, and from there, you reach a crossroad, and I think this is the most important part, and that this crossroads what defines you. I think the two roads are nihilism and existentialism. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really choose nihilism because a nihilistic worldview is not a positive one. It's kind of pointless. But existentialism, I've heard you talk about it before on the show, putting value in your loved ones, what makes you happy. And what I'm talking about, what defines you as a person is what makes you happy. Is it making other people happy? Is it just making yourself happy? And I think that's really where if you can call yourself a good person or a bad person, or I don't believe in all this people are bad by nature. I believe people have the potential to do bad, but what defines you is if you choose to do bad, or if you choose not to do bad. But I don't when people say I'm bad by nature, I need to repent for my sins. I think that's a bunch of bullcrap.
Well, let me. I think I have I think I know what you're getting at. What we were talking about just now about how people are essentially motivated by self-interest. Yeah. And you're saying a similar thing, whereas people are defined, your personality is defined by what makes you happy. For most people, I think that what you learn just through the routine experience of living your life is that what makes you happy, and that what is the most beneficial and useful thing to you, is to get along with everyone. Is to not be someone who is antisocial and constantly causing problems and turning people against you. We're social beings, ultimately. That's the nature of our species. And so, whereas I think people have... I think we lost him.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, sorry. I think that was on your end. Whereas a lot of people certainly look out for number one. Ultimately, what you learn is, it's... The best happiness comes from having friends, having family, having colleagues, being the sort of person that contributes well to your community, tries to leave a good legacy behind, so that when other people talk about you and think of you, and they say, that guy was a good guy, and that's the end of it. I mean, I'm
more worried about whether or not I think I'm a good guy personally.
Well,
I mean, I think the rest of it will take care of itself. But if I think I'm a good guy, I'm okay with that. As long as I'm not hurting other people, and people, I'm sure they'll tell me if I am.
Yeah.
Since they tend to tell me even when I'm not.
I think most people tend to think, I'm a good guy, because other people I get that feedback from others.
Ed's back.